And now, what you've been waiting for, the top 10 reasons that you might be a rodeo goat. And today I put up on the website a post saying that's titled "You Might Be a Rodeo Goat." And before the show I looked, I think there was 53 responses to it already. So there are a lot of reasons out there that you might be a rodeo goat. We'll do the top 10 from now and again. But I said that birds of a feather flock together, and you folks calling us rodeo goats takes one to know one. Goats of a turd make a good herd. That's what they say. I didn't make that up. All right, the top 10. Number 10. And this is in my best Jeff Foxworthy voice. And again, some have told me that it sounds like Don Knotts doing Jeff Foxworthy. So, just put your fingers over your ears if you don't like it. If you've ever gone straight to jail from the racetrack, you might be a rodeo goat. That's number 10.
I know somebody that
did. She ain't here tonight.
We need a drum roll man. That's what we're missing.
We got a drum. Big D's got the drum roll man. All right. The number 9 reason that you might be a rodeo goat. If you've ever had to put the beer cans back inside your race car after a wreck on the track, you might be a rodeo goat. Remember Nasty Jones, Dustin? Flipped at Bull's Gap. There was beer cans all over the racetrack. I think that was Nasty. I can't remember who it was. Somebody flipped down there, man. There was beer cans everywhere. All right, folks. Coming up. Number 8. If you've ever had more than one flat tire on the way to a race, you might be a rodeo goat.
Done that. I did feel Ed Jarrett's the one that saved my butt with that one.
There's so many of these.
Getting to the race is half the fun.
It is,
getting back home's the other half.
It is. There's so many of these. It's hard to pick
that involve getting to the race.
Yeah,
that's a big part of racing is getting there.
Yeah, and I've got number 4 is a good one on getting to the race. Okay, but we're all right. Number 7. If you ever let your family ride in a towed race car, you might be a rodeo goat.
Hey, I've seen that. And they still had to steer the car. Put it with a rope.
Oh, man.
And they had to figure out what fingers to use for a hand.
Yeah, I've seen that, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, that's how we got my race car to my first race, was pulled it with a pickup truck to chain, and we had one guy sitting in there steering the race car.
The funniest story I have ever heard about that, David Sosby told me about the family when they run over something and broke tie rod ends on the car. And it was just bouncing off everything on the road.
That's another allusion to getting to the race.
Yeah, but what they eventually did was they took the race car and hooked the family car to it, and they drove to the racetrack. I believe it was Daytona, towing the family car with the race car. That was one of the funniest stories I ever heard.
That's a good one.
All right. Number 6. If you've ever taken the wheel off of your tow truck to fix a flat on your race car, you might be a rodeo goat.
Or the battery out your race car to put in the tow truck.
I've done both of them.
To get back home.
Big D probably don't remember this, but he was probably about 8 or 9 in a race at Bull's Gap Volunteer Speedway again. He and I were the only ones there. He was my pit crew. I had a flat, pulled into the pits, took the right wheel, the right rear off of the truck, put it on the race car.
Hey, you do what you have to.
I got back in the race car and finished the race. Hey, you got to do it. You got to do it. All right. Number 5. If you've ever repaired your race car with parts stolen from a parked car, you might be a rodeo goat.
Or at the first Southern 500.
I keep thinking about D.K. Ulrich and those guys. They were on the way going across the desert somewhere, and the bottom end blew out of their tow truck, and there was an old fire truck sitting in front of a fire station. This is in Perry Allen Wood's book, the Declaration of Independence. And they recognized that thing had the same engine in it as their tow vehicle, so they went across the street to a phone book and called in a fake fire. And when the fire department left, they went over and cut the bottom end out of the old truck that was sitting in front of the fire hall. So, oh gosh.
Yes, Smokey Unick said in the first Southern 500 after the race there was a lot of Cadillacs in the infield with no wheels on them. They was borrowing the tires.
All right.
Sometimes they were just watching the spectators go to the souvenir stand, the concession stand, and they come back to an empty car.
Number 4. If you've ever raced your buddy to the track for the best pit stall, you might be a rodeo goat. That includes all the bumping and rubbing that goes on.
Done that.
Oh, well, number 3 is good. Coming up, number 3, the third reason that you might be a rodeo goat. If you've ever taken a bath in the community swimming pool after a dirt race, you might be a rodeo goat.
Hey, that's a high-class neighborhood. Had a community swimming pool.
Oh, yeah, if you got to climb the fence.
Yeah. If you've got a community swimming pool.
All right, number 2. If you've ever hauled moonshine in a Ford Tempo,
that's funny right there.
You might be a rodeo goat.
That's funny to write it Ford Tempo.
The only one that I know that did that was Jack Roush.
Oh my gosh.
And the number 1, hermetically sealed from a Jack Walker sock drawer in Walpole, South Carolina.
Reason that you might be a rodeo goat. If you've ever stuffed drunk crows in a gunny sack
with Junior Johnson,
you might be a rodeo goat.
What? Say that one more time, please.
If you've ever stuffed drunk crows in a gunny sack.
How did the crows get drunk?
That's what I'm going to say. Well, how'd you get them drunk?
I don't know. I heard they
think it was in Wilkes County.
Oh, that I don't know.
That's the top 10 reasons that you might be a rodeo goat on tonight's show, folks. And
from the home office in Walpole, South Carolina.
We appreciate all of you submitting your...
Hey, of honorable mention, Jeff, of honorable mention, and the funny one today was from Dennis Andrews, who said, if the donuts on your race car got there from the trailer wheels. Dennis, that's an honorable mention, buddy. That's hard to top.
Oh, gosh, I love it. We'll do this from time to time. Just keep submitting your entries on the Stock Car Racers Reunion site under You Might Be a Rodeo Goat, and we'll pick 10 of them. We'll decide what the top 10 are and repeat them here for you tonight. But there have been some great ones submitted tonight after I'd already put this list together, and we'll pick up some of those in another show.
Dennis wins Miss Congeniality for tonight.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, I got a letter in the old mailbag this week.
The old mailbag has been here, and I missed
need music for this.
Yeah, I got a letter in the old We Get Letters.
I missed her.
Yeah, hey, guys, if you ever don't make the mistake and call it the old bag, always put the descriptive term mail in there.
Tell us what you got there.
Got it right here.
All right.
He's hermetically sealed. Let me read it. I pre-read it, so... What I actually need to add realism to this letter from the old mailbag, I need to add dramatic convention to the pronunciation. It goes, Dear Bopper, if that's what your name really is, It took me years to track you down with you being a celebrity, big radio dude now. Ha ha, you might just remember me and my family. Picked you, my brother, up on Doc Bennett Road in Fayetteville, North Carolina, almost 40 years ago. You and your two other homies, looking more desperate than Rick Perry at a presidential debate, who can't be topical, were walking down that road doing the most pitiful job of thumbing I ever seen. No wonder y'all was walking. Ha ha. And we stopped and picked y'all up, and me and my brother even moved to the back seat of the Broham wagon to the way back, just to let y'all sit in the rear seat. And have I ever been thanked? Have I ever been thanked by you, Mr. Hollywood? Well, the answer is no, 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 and no. So the least you can do is tell my story on that radio program you have. Your friend, and he writes, your friend, LOL in parentheses, Forgotten Freddie in Fayetteville. P.S. He sends a P.S. I inherited the Broham wagon, and she is looking good with them 24-inch wheels, and you should hear that tape deck.
So you're going to tell Freddie's story?
Yeah, I'm going to tell Freddie's story. What Forgotten Freddie in Fayetteville was actually talking about was you all, and this is racing related, you all will remember in 1973 NASCAR created the Grand National East Series. Remember that?
Yep.
They were phasing out short tracks, but they didn't do it all at one time. For a season or two, they had Grand National East races, which was independents and stuff, and would go to these little tracks, and guys like Bobby Allison would go, and every now and then a few big names, but mostly it was the independents. And they had one that summer in Fayetteville, North Carolina. It's the same track they got now, except it was paved then. And of course, everybody in my community of Charlotte was going to go to the race. It was a NASCAR race, so I mean that was just like a holiday. So they was all going, and my father had an airplane, bless his heart, and he was always bragging how he could get anywhere in like 30 minutes. That was the time it took to get anywhere. And let all these other guys start driving. We will be there. The airport at Fayetteville is right at the track. I can hear him saying that. All we got to do is fly there. It'll take 30 minutes. We'll rent a car and drive through the track. It'll be great. And so here, me and my dad and my best friend, whose name was Booger. My best friend in the world, Booger, and me, and
how'd you pick him out?
fly to Fayetteville and land. But the only thing my father he never calculated the fact that when you're figuring your time to get somewhere, that's the time to another airport. You know what I mean? It might take 30 minutes to get to Fayetteville Airport, but unless that's what you're going to see, there's another trip involved in the story to get to your ultimate destination. So we come cruising in there like we're big shots and walk in the terminal. So we need to rent a car. What you got? The man says, rent a car is closed on Sundays.
Oh no.
Well, that ain't no problem. We need to call a taxi. Taxi don't come out here on Sunday. By this time, it's about 1 o'clock. And seriously, the airport in Fayetteville is about 3 or 4 miles from the track. It was getting to be race time. We was plumb out of options. And so with nothing else to fall back on, we just start walking to the track. I mean, walking. And worse than that, we could hear the cars. We could hear them. The race had started. And I bet 100 cars passed by. We thumbed and they'd sped up, if anything. Finally, Daddy got mad and blamed it on Booger. Said, he's got that long hippie hair. He sort of had an afro. This was the early 70s. She's got that long hippie hair. That's why nobody will stop and pick us up.
Blame it on Booger.
Blame it on Booger. That's it. So we was getting madder as we could, boy, we could hear the cars going. Finally, it was getting down in the evening. We was still walking. Here comes a big Mercury Broham wagon. Wood grain side. She was fully decked out and dragging the ground from the family was in there. And they stopped. And we jumped in. They did have to scramble around. There was about 12 head, and we finally got in there and got all the doors closed and everything. She was dragging the ground in the back, and we made it. They took us all the way to the track, right on into the parking lot, all the way up to the ticket booth. And we jumped out, and my dad run up to the ticket stand, pulling out his wallet as he went, and the lady said, she said, "Y'all go on in, they just waved the white flag." We got in free, went in there and seen all of our friends sitting there. They said, "Where y'all been? The race is over." We got there just in time to try to thumb a ride back to the airport.
So Forgotten Freddy.
Fast Freddy saved the day, and he never got no credit for it. He's the only one in his family. Thought with the Broham and picked up 3 lost souls. Now you are a goat redneck rodeo if you've ever done that. Got through the race at the white flag lap.
If you had a buddy named Booger, you might be a rodeo goat.
That's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. You can't make that up.
What'd you say, Cody?
I said I have a vision. This will be next week's intro.
Yeah, I'll second that. I was thinking that while it was going on.
Oh, my goodness. That's a good one. Well, thanks, Freddie, for the mail.
We run into the arena, and I swear I got through there just as Bobby Allison took the checkered flag and walked all day.
Oh, my gosh.
But at least we didn't have to pay to get in.
And thanks to the old mailbag for delivering yet another piece of mail.
We get letters, ladies and gentlemen. If you have one, be sure to drop us a line. We will read it on the air.
Oh, gosh. All right, folks, that's going to take us up to our last break. Y'all hang around. We're going to be right back right after this.